What's up YouTube, the Rain Man here. In this video we'll be talking about the next Hall of Heroes. Which seems to load so slow every time I do this. It's going to be the Wind Sylph. There it is. As usual, you can usually find me on the global server in channel 2365, which you can see at the bottom of the video there. And in the description below you can see a link to my sword farm, where you can see all my monsters and how I got them ruined. I also see some of my teams as well. Also in the description you can see where I have summoned the natural 5-star monsters and what they were summoned from, and in the order that I got them as well. But on to the video here. The new Hall of Heroes that's coming up is going to be the Wind Sylph. It's 4-star. Once a month, Come To Us does this, and where we can get enough pieces to summon a natural 4-star monster, and this time it's the Wind Sylph. This event will be running from June 9th at 12 p.m. to June 12th at 12 a.m. This is all according to server time, of course. So, you can look at the Hall of Heroes, of course, in the Kairos dungeons, of course. Kairos dungeon will have 10 stages, or 10 floors. Each floor will have 6 waves. As you complete each floor, you get 25 pieces, as well as 5 crystals. But it will require 50 pieces to summon a Wind Sylph. So you have to complete floors 1 and 2 at least to be able to summon one. So if you complete all 10 floors, you can summon 5. So use it for scale ups, make him summon one, use the other 4 to make him a 5-star. When you max him out at 4-star, or whatever, scale up another monster, another one of the sylphs maybe. So, but that's what you got here. Let's go look at him and see what he's got. Nope, not runes. Oh, wait, hang on. I'm forgetting which way I'm going here. Alright, the monsters load up here. We have the Wind Sylph. There he is. Alright, so the first skill throws a small spirit at the enemy and increases your crit rate by 30% at the next turn if you get a critical hit. So his first target, his first skill actually does a single target, hits one time. You get a 1-turn crit boost if you get a crit hit. So not too bad if your crit rate's not that high. It can help you out there. His second skill attacks all enemies 3 times with a cyclone. Each strike has a 40% chance of increasing the chances of the enemy landing a glancing hit for 2 turns. So this skill actually hits AoE, hits 3 times, and has a chance to put a 2-turn glancing debuff on the enemy. So all the enemies having glancing is not a bad idea. Of course, this move hits 3 times, so it gives you an idea if you actually need something to actually break shields, such as like in Necro. Although he's not going to be good for Necro because he only has 1 multi-hit move. His third skill creates a hurricane around the enemy and absorbs their attack speed for 3 turns. So we got 1 move. So this is a single target move, hits 1 time, and gives him a 3-turn speed break. So it's just not too bad. It's an attack monster, so it's going to be hitting pretty hard probably. He has a leader skill of a increases attack speed of allied monsters in the arena by 24%. So in arena, so this is going to be a monster that you build for arena majority of the time. It will be the 24% attack speed is great. There's not many monsters who have an attack speed lead. First one I can think off the top of my head is Beretta, which is his brother, but that's only a 19% speed lead, and that's global. That's in everywhere. This is specifically in arena, and it's 24% speed lead, which is pretty good. He's an attack monster. More than likely, you're going to build this guy for arena as an attack type monster, probably, or use him in Giants B10. More than likely, this monster will be ruined possibly on lines of like Fatal, Swift, or Despair with Blade. So you get that extra crit hit. Slot 2 is going to be either speed or attack percentage, depending upon if you get more attack or speed substats in the other runes. Slot 4 more likely to be a crit damage. Slot 6 will be attack percentage. So it's going to be built as an attack monster generally. If you can do Necro, you probably can do Rage Blade as well. But Fatal Blade, Swift Blade, Despair Blade. Since it does have an AoE on the second skill, and it hits twice. It hits 3 times. And if I remember correctly, Despair runes actually have a chance to stun on each hit. So if it hits 3 times, it has a chance to stun on each hit, which is not too bad. So you can use it for crowd control. If you were to go Swift, Despair, you might want to go Speed, crit damage attack. Otherwise, Fatal and Swift and Rage Blade could be up to whichever ones you have better stats for speed or attack on slot 2. Crit damage and attack is probably be general for slots 4 and 6. You probably could use them pretty good with this guy's a pretty good monster. This is one you actually want to farm. You actually want to get the pieces and summon one of these. It's a really good monster. At least, if nothing else, for the Arena Speed League. That way, at least, hopefully get you some more glory points to get your totems built up if you're still early game. Like I said, this monster is going to be real good. It will work really well with the Giants runes. So let's say if you're still early game, you start running Giants, this monster will work with Giant runes. Fatal, Swift, Despair, and Blade. So there's no reason, if you do get this monster, not to at least get him roomed up. The pros of this monster is it has Arena Speed Lead. 24% Arena Speed Lead. It's the same speed lead that Sierra has. Sierra's is global, of course. But I said this is the same speed lead that Sierra has, which is another 5-star monster. You can use this monster in Giants. In Giants B10, help you either get a glancing either or actually knock out some of those crystals and golems on your way through. It's going to be monster be good for arena and guild offense. And of the 5 Sylphs, he's got the highest base attack. Right here at 5-star, you can see it's at 613. I don't think any of the others even touch 6. No, they don't. So he's up there. I think the next highest one is the dark one at 514. So he's almost got 70 points higher on the next highest attack base Sylph. So that's pretty good. It does have some cons. Considering that it is a wind monster, it is going to be subject to Lucian attack, so probably not going to want it on defense unless it's speeding up the other attackers, the other fire attackers or whatnot on your team. That way maybe they can outdo the Lucians or whatnot, since Lucian is a pretty heavy meta for arena attacks, arena offense. So, like I said, he's probably not going to be great for defense unless he's there just strictly for speed. If he's on Despair, that might not be a bad thing. Maybe he can actually stun with his second skill. So it's a possibility. So it could actually work on defense with Despair runes. I just thought about that right now, as a matter of fact. His base attack is lower than his sister monster, the Wind Sylphid. So if you look at her, his base attack right now is 613. Her base attack is 646. And she's a support monster. So that's another factor to take into effect. Granted, his multipliers on his attacks are probably higher than hers. But some people do build her as an attack monster as well, even though she is a support. Of the 5 Sylph monsters, he does have the lowest base HP and lowest base defense of all 5 Sylph monsters. So, if you do use him, you're probably going to want him to go first. So basically, he hits early and hits hard. So, lots of speed substats if you go for attack percentage in slot 2, or lots of attack substats if you go for speed in slot 2. That's definitely, this is a farm monster. Definitely get you one of these. I said any of the secret dungeons or the Hollow Heroes, always farm one. you never know when it's going to be a buff later, and this monster is going to be suddenly an OP monster. I said, and if you do get the pieces, you don't have to summon it immediately. The pieces will stay in your storage. They don't take up any space. The pieces do not. So feel free to farm the pieces and just hang on to them. You don't have to summon it immediately, but if you want to, you can. As for the waves, when as you go into Hall of Heroes, considering this is a Wind Hall of Heroes, Wave 1 is probably going to be Fire. So it'll be everybody's favorite TOA monster, Beretta. And of course, he's got an attack bar decrease, attack bar zeroed out move, as well as a dots. So keep that in mind. Wave 2 is probably going to be fire, water. I almost said fire again. Damn. Of course, he's got the same second skill as, same second skill as the Wind Sylph. So he's got glancing. This third skill actually attacks all enemies and freezes them. So be prepared for that. Some of your monsters may get frozen whenever he moves. And with more than likely 3 of them on the way, on that wave, your whole team might actually get frozen if you're not careful. The third wave is going to be a wind mini boss. I got a feeling it might actually be a Barbarian King, maybe? I'm just speculating here. Of course, I don't know this. I'm guessing it might be a Wind Barbarian King. I got a feeling it might be a Barbarian King in this mini boss. If it's not the mini boss, it's the cronies with the mini boss. Wave 4 is probably going to be the Light Sylph. Of course, it's got the glancing, the AoE glancing, just like the wind one. Also, it attacks all enemies 4 times. Each attack has a chance to stun the enemy, so there's a chance you're going to get stunned on the 4th wave. So you want to be prepared for that. With 3 of them, there's a chance your whole team's going to get stunned. The 5th wave is probably going to be Dark. Of course, the Dark one also has an attack bar zeroed out, but also increases his attack bar. So it can zero out your attack bar and boost his attack bar by 50%. So which will get him to go again sooner. The 3rd skill on him is pretty ridiculous. Surrounds all enemies with night and puts them to sleep for 2 turns. It's a 2-turn sleep. So the only way you're coming out is if you get hit. Or if you have a monster that actually does not get put to sleep and has a cleanse. And can cleanse the rest of the team. So you need to keep that in mind as well for that wave. And this is probably more than likely to be just before the boss wave. Which will be, of course, wave 6. There's also going to be the boss, which is the Wind Sylph, of course. So be prepared for that. Like I said, he does have a high attack. Low defense, low HP compared to the other Sylphs. So, but he is going to hit hard. And I think, did I say that right? He also has the highest base speed of all the Sylphs. I missed that. I was making my notes earlier. I actually missed that. The base speed is actually higher than everybody else. That's kind of interesting. I missed that. Excuse me. So, but yeah, definitely farm the pieces for this one. This is definitely going to be a farm monster. You really want to get your hands on one of these. If nothing else, for the arena speed lead. It must say it'll be useful for Giant Speed 10. If you need a nuker in there, if you've not fused a Sig, you can use him in there. So definitely want to farm it. As usual, whenever the Hall of Heroes becomes available, I will record my run through the first floor, and I will mention each of the monsters in there. Like I said, I've already gone through the actual Sylphs, but the monsters with the Sylphs are going to be different. So I'll be talking about that, at least give you an idea of what you need to be prepared for if you decide to go into running this. If you're actually still early mid game, You may have some trouble. At least you'll know what's ahead of you and can be prepared for countering it if need be. So, but there you go. Like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to comment on this video. I'll try to answer to the best of my ability. If you enjoyed it, hit that thumbs up button, of course. And until next time, have fun. Later.